So Tyler, tell me how much revenue your Evergreen funnel was generating before you signed up for Scale with Success.
So my Evergreen funnel was generating no money because it didn't exist. It wasn't a thing.
Okay,
I
so
know.
hold on a minute, because a lot of people are actually nervous about applying for Scale with Success because they say things like, well, I've never done a webinar before, or, well, I don't already have a funnel. So you're telling me that when you started, you literally had no funnel.
Yeah, so I had live launched a couple of times, but I had done it in kind of a hodgepodge way using a bunch of different tools and tactics, and I didn't really have a clear system in place. So yeah, I guess I didn't really have a funnel. I had kind of a live class I would teach, and then I had some emails I sent out, and I'd done that a few times and it had worked, but just nothing like what I have in place now since I've been in Scale with Success.
Okay, got it. Now, why was setting up an Evergreen funnel that scales such a big priority for you?
Yeah, there were a couple of things. So the first thing is, since our product is a membership site and we have the membership model, we knew that we would be dealing with member churn, right? So we would be losing members on a monthly basis. And we work on trying to keep that low on our end with different tactics and strategies. But I wanted to have a system in place to replace those members plus some every single month. So I never wanted to feel like I was behind on the number of members that we had. And then the other perspective for me is that I just wanted a different kind of lifestyle with my business. Here's the thing, I love launching. Launching excites me so much, but I did not want to get caught in the habit, because I knew what that looked like for so many business owners, of having this feast or famine business model and launching all the time, because it's exhausting. It takes so many resources, so much time, so much energy. So I wanted a lifestyle that I wanted a business that complemented my lifestyle, which that means I don't want to work every day if I don't have to. I want to hang out and watch Real Housewives. I want to travel. I want to go to Target whenever I want to. I want to do all those things. And an Evergreen funnel just affords me that kind of lifestyle.
So let me ask you a question, because I know you mentioned that you had a membership. Now, some people who join this program have a signature course, and other people have a signature membership. So when you joined, what was the price point of your membership? I know it's gone up since then, but what was the price point?
Yeah, so when we joined, our membership was $47 a month. We also offered an annual option and a lifetime option.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You were able to scale a membership that was only $47 a month.
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of people have this idea that they have to be selling this big, gigantic, expensive product in order to get real results. But you're saying that's just not the case.
Yeah, it's not the case. And we have raised our price since then, but I don't know if you want the grand number, but
let's save that for a minute.
Okay.
I know. No, everyone can't wait. We got to save that. Okay, so the next question, and I want you to be completely honest about this. Did you have any fears about making the commitment to enroll?
Oh, yeah, 100%. The first fear, I know, right? You're like, what? That's crazy. No, I was definitely fearful. The first thing for me was considering the investment, and not just the financial investment. I knew it was going to be a big financial investment, but also the time investment. How much time was this going to take to implement? So that was kind of a fear I had to work through. I think the other fear that I really recognized, especially this year, since we've implemented everything that we've learned inside Scale with Success, is that I think one of my biggest fears was the fear of what if this does work? What would this look like if this did work, if this was successful, if I did make more money, if I could have more impact, if I could reach more people? That puts me kind of on a bigger pedestal. It gets me in front of more people. And that was really scary to me. So those were the two big kind of fears I had going into the program.
So let's talk a little bit about your fear of taking time. Right. So I think that the fear of the time investment is really big, especially because when people come to us, they have no time. Right. So I always tell people, if you are swimming in piles of money, if you have all the free time in the world, you don't need this. This is not for you. Don't buy it. Right. Yeah. This is for people that don't have a lot of time and whose income is not at the level that they want. So talk to us a little bit about how you navigated that decision. So you were afraid that it was going to, of the time investment,
Yeah.
but so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I realized is I could either make the investment of time up front and put it, and here's the thing, it's not like you're going to come to Scale Success and Caitlin's going to say, okay, I need all your attention for the next 6 months on this one thing. It's like
Right.
a few weeks of like a few hours a day or a few hours a week, like tasking things out and working on projects, right? So I realized I could either do that work up front, and for us, like we concentrated that, my team and I, into 6 weeks of effort to get this thing up and running, or I could spend the next 6 months or 16 months or 6 years like trying to piece it together myself, or trying to DIY it myself, or trying to like implement some strategy or tactic that hadn't been proven to be effective. And we wouldn't have the support along the way either. Like we wouldn't have the support that we needed to answer questions and get feedback and all of that in the process. Or we could make the investment, I could put the effort and time in up front, and then just kind of sit back and it just keeps working, like it's just running in the background.
So you're saying that you were able to get your Evergreen funnel up and running within 6 weeks?
Within 6 weeks. Not only were we able to get the Evergreen funnel up and running within 6 weeks, I made my entire investment back within 6 weeks.
My gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess my next question is, if you got your Evergreen funnel up and running in 6 weeks, was everything perfect and you were like set for life and you never had any questions or like anything come up again?
Wouldn't that be ideal, right?
Yeah.
No, there's definitely been, this entire year, right? I've been in Scale Success for a year now, and this entire year has been just so much growth and development, not just in the business, but in my own life and my personality and how I think about things. And Scale Success supported me through that entire process. So getting the funnel up and running within 6 weeks, we were able to do that. Making our investment back within 6 weeks, we were able to do that. But once we did that, we had to look at, okay, how do we scale this? How do we add more members to our team to support this? How do we have even more impact? How do I get out there and become more visible so we can get more leads into our funnel? How do we optimize Facebook ads? There are lots of pieces of the puzzle that we've been fitting together for the rest of the year. And fortunately, inside Scale, we have access to not only you, but other coaches and an ongoing support and trainings and resources so we can keep working through that. It almost feels like as soon as we kind of come up against something like, oh, here's a conversation happening in Scale about that, or here's a resource that Caitlin's discovered or that she's created and wants to share with you. And there's just that continual support. And it's like, it feels perfectly timed so often that like, here's a new concern or new problem or new question, and here's a resource of support we need to get through that. So no, it's not been like, oh yeah, it's all done. We can just sit back and like go get on a yacht and like live our best below deck fantasy. No, like we're still figuring this out, but the fear of how are we going to get more sales this month, or the concern about is our revenue going to drop or something like that, like that's not really there for us because we get sales every single day now.
And let's talk a little bit about that fear. What is that fear, that constant fear of, oh my gosh, like how is this next launch going to do? Where is the next sale coming from? Is this product even going to be around anymore, 6 months from now? What kind of impact does constantly having those thoughts and fears going through your head, what kind of impact does that have on your life?
Yeah, so many things. I know for me personally, when I was kind of in that phase of thinking, first of all, I felt like it totally drained and zapped my creativity, right? Like I had no space or room to like create or come up with new ideas or new solutions to problems, which is one of my favorite things to do, right? And I couldn't do that. The other thing is for me personally, I think for a lot of people too, it led me to make a lot of bad decisions and to make a lot of mistakes in my business because I was in that place of kind of worrying and that anxiety about where revenue was going to come from, how are we going to grow this, all those things. So then I started doing things like creating random offers and creating new programs or new products and launching them in a really like poor manner. And all of those were big mistakes that I made when I was kind of operating from that fear mentality. It's really different now.
So I want you to think back for a minute. So let's like time travel back. Think back to where you were right before you joined. Where do you think you would be right now if you never made the decision to enroll?
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, honestly, I think I would be, I think, I think I would be kind of okay financially, personally, and in the business, but I would not have as much, I would not have had as much opportunity as I've had this year to do things like build a team, to bring my partner into the business. Like he and I get to work together now, and we're both paid a really great salary for like doing stuff we love and getting to spend time together. Like, I really don't think, I really don't think that would have been possible without what we learned inside of S.C.A.L.E and without having this Evergreen funnel, this Evergreen webinar, all of these systems in place. I think I would still be kind of grasping for straws and like trying to make things work, and probably still be making some poor decisions, probably trying to sell a lot more offers and products and services than what I sell now. Everything just would have been more complicated. It wouldn't have been as kind of easy and simple as it is now.
And what kind of impact do you think? I mean, I know you have really big news. You are just got engaged, which congratulations on that, by the way. What kind of impact does that constant state of worry and stress and kind of stretched to the limit, so like you're pulled so tightly, what kind of impact would that have had on your relationship?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been so detrimental. And here's the thing, like, I'm not coming to this without having that experience, right? Like I did that for 2 years in my business, and I ran an agency, and then I coached one-on-one, and like I was exhausted. I was so burnt out, working 60 and 70 hours a week and feeling like I had nothing to show for it. And and eventually, that put a strain on all of my relationships, my relationship with my partner, Eric, with my family, with my friends, with myself. And it always left me in this place of like worry and concern about where things are going to come from, how things are going to work out, whether or not this is possible. And it also really impacted Eric and I's ability to live the kind of life that we wanted to live. And like, we couldn't travel, we couldn't go places, we couldn't visit people. And those things are really important to us at this phase in life. Like, that's what we want to do. That's where we want to spend our time and our energy and our money. And we just couldn't do it. And I know if like I was still there, that trying to plan a wedding right now, the kind of wedding that we want, would be next to impossible, because how would we afford it? How would we take time off work to actually do this wedding? But none of those things are concerns for us anymore, because we have this consistency in the business, which means so much. It means like, it's so much more than just like an evergreen funnel, right? Like, it's just this like security, the safety, this understanding of where things are coming from, how they're working. And it just takes such a load off your shoulders. And for me, I can be more creative again. I can focus on the things I want to focus on. I can build out a team and do all those things I want to do.
So, okay, let's get to the juicy part.
Okay.
How much money is your Evergreen funnel generating right now per month?
Yeah, so our Evergreen funnel is generating on average $40,000 to $50,000 per month right now.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Now, just to give a little bit of perspective, so people can see kind of where you came from, you're telling me that when you first started, your Evergreen funnel was generating $0 because you didn't have one. So now you're up to between 40 and 50K a month. And how much money did your business generate last year?
Last year, with mainly doing coaching, one-on-one services, and just launching our online membership community, the business generated around $70,000 in revenue.
Okay, so you're telling me that you went from 70K a year to between 40 and 50K per month.
Yeah, and we'll finish out this year at $600,000 in revenue.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know this doesn't, just for anyone listening, like, the Scale with Success is not a magic pill. It doesn't do the work for you. Tyler showed up every single day, did the work, did what he needed to do in order to get those results. So you know just how picky that we are about who we enroll into this program. So what advice would you give to someone who has just booked their interview? So they're just about ready to go into their interview with their S.C.A.L.E specialist. What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest thing, and this is one of the biggest lessons I had to learn this year. And also, Caitlin, I think it's like from other people in S.C.A.L.E in our conversations and just kind of watching how they've evolved. I think it's all a lesson we've all learned is you cannot go into this thinking you know it all.
Okay.
And that's a big one. Like that's a big, gross pill to swallow for a lot of people. I know it was for me, but go into this call. And then if you decide to enroll in this program, go into all of this with an open mind and an understanding that there's a lot about this whole system and this strategy and this approach to business that you just don't know yet. Or there's a lot that you may know that may not be serving you well, and there's a better way to do it. So I think that's the biggest thing. Go into it with an open mind, be receptive to feedback, be willing to learn, be willing to change things, because that's going to get you the most results the most quickly. But kind of staying stuck in those old habits, those old beliefs, those old, well, I know everything, or I tried that and it didn't work. Well, it's not going to work. It's not going to work for you. But yeah, if you can have that open mind and realize you don't know it all about, you don't know everything about this topic, but you can learn, and there's a system to implement, you just have to follow the steps, then you're good to go.
Okay, I love that. Thank you so much, Tyler. I know we're both super busy, so we're going to cut this call. I'm going to go ahead and say good luck with your interview to anyone that is watching. Fingers crossed for you. And thank you so much, Tyler.
Yeah, thank you.